Welcome to Bloomington Today. Thanks for joining us. I'm Kaylin Cockriel. Bloomington Public Health is doing what they can to keep you and your family from being one of the 5 to 20% of the population that comes down with the seasonal flu each year. Take a look. According to flu.gov, the most common times to catch the flu bug are between late fall and early spring. So if you haven't received your flu shot yet, it's not too late. City Public Health is still offering flu vaccinations for the public.
Somewhere between January and March, we usually have the most incidence of flu cases, and so it is a good time for people to be vaccinated, even if they haven't received it earlier in the fall.
Public Health is offering vaccinations for both residents with and without insurance. And if you're one of the many who are needle shy, there's an alternative vaccination available.
Now we do have the nasal spray too for people who are between 2 and up to age 50, so that they can get the nasal spray if they're healthy, they don't have asthma, and they're not pregnant.
And like anything, sometimes we need a refresher on ways to help keep you and your family healthy this flu season.
Use good hand washing. That prevents a lot of disease from spreading. Also covering the cough. If people are coughing, they should cough into their shirt sleeve rather than into somebody's face. We also would recommend that people stay home if they're ill, and that if someone else is ill, they don't spend time with that person if they can possibly prevent that from happening.
Vaccinations are available the first and third Tuesday of every month from 3 p.m. to 5:30 p.m. through June if necessary. They're walk-in appointments only, so be sure to stop by Public Health at 1900 West Old Shakopee Road, next door to the Bloomington Motor Vehicle Office. Well, do you need an incentive to start using public transportation? Here's a big one. The new transit station at 46th Street on 35W is now complete. We were at a recent presentation hosted by Metro Transit explaining just what the new station is and why it's a crucial development in maximizing the traffic flow during peak hours on the busy freeway. The 35W corridor runs north and south from Minneapolis to Lakeville. It is the busiest commuter highway in the state, averaging 200,000 motorists on a day-to-day basis. Bus Rapid Transit is now pulling into the fast lane and doing their part to make maximum use of highway capacity.
With bus service in the corridor in a dedicated lane, we can share that lane with high occupancy and toll-paying vehicles and make full use of limited highway infrastructure throughout the course of the day.
This station is the first of its kind in the state of Minnesota. It allows passengers a safe area to leave their vehicles, be picked up at the station located on 35W and 46th Street by a Metro bus, who then can get right back into the fast lane where they have priority. There's no fight to change lanes in order to enter and exit the freeways to accommodate stops, ultimately hoping to make routes faster and more efficient.
Bus Rapid Transit is introduced to augment the express service to provide a fast, reliable trip and to really improve the service quality and the promise of transit within the corridor, that we can have a high service quality similar to light rail, but at lower cost and with greater flexibility. We're not bound to an alignment on the freeway. We can go off the corridor, we can serve other destinations in other markets while feeding into a larger very congestion-free, fast running way on the corridor itself.
This station allows for faster transit travel to more destinations in the south and southwest suburbs, like right here in Bloomington. Now, one BRT like this is expected to be constructed somewhere in the vicinity of American Boulevard and 35W. For more information, go to www.metrotransit.org. Ever think about taking up a new hobby? Well, here's your chance. This spring, Bloomington will expand its community gardens significantly. Center for the Arts manager Jim Urey tells us a bit about those upcoming changes at Smith Park and Harrison Park.
This year, we've been working hard to expand the existing site. Actually, we're going to expand it from 30 plots to 54 plots. And in addition, we're going to open a second site at Harrison Park, which will have 28 new plots. So we'll have a total of 82.
Condo dwellers, apartment renters, or just residents trying out gardening for the first time, Uri has seen it all. The overall goal, however, remains the same.
We want to provide citizens of Bloomington with healthy opportunities, both in terms of getting exercise and fresh air, but also healthy food and nutritional food, and sort of a more locally grown opportunities in terms of food safety and food access.
If provided a plot, you can plant essentially anything in the 10 by 15 foot space. One stipulation, however, you cannot use chemicals on the plants or the soil. To apply for a plot at one of the community gardens, go to the city's website at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us, keyword search garden. There's a one-page application along with a $33 fee. Applications are processed on a first-come, first-served basis, with priority rental status given to the 2010 returning renters, as well as Bloomington residents. Well, some winter habits make you more susceptible to being the victim of a crime. We spoke with the Bloomington Police Force to learn a few tips, along with sometimes overlooked ordinances designed to keep you and your property safe, especially during the winter months. It's no secret that it's cold outside in Minnesota right now. To avoid being in the cold too long, many drivers start their vehicles and allow it time to warm up. But what we don't think about is our vehicle no longer being there when we go back to it. For Bloomington residents, there's an ordinance put into place to help prevent just that.
Bloomington does have an open ignition ordinance, and that makes it illegal to have the keys in the car or in the ignition while the car is running. Now, if you have the doors locked and the car is running, that would be legal. So what we see is some people are leaving their cars to warm up before they go somewhere when it's cold out, and if they don't have the vehicle locked, that would be a violation of the city ordinance. And that's also why we're seeing some of these cars stolen. So we want people to be in compliance with the ordinance, but more than that, we want it locked so their car doesn't get stolen.
Sergeant Elliott tells us that remote vehicle starters are now helping diminish some of these thefts, and they do not infringe on the city's open ignition ordinance, as the keys are not in the vehicle.
With most remote start devices, when they're activated, you cannot shift the vehicle out of gear. You can't. Some of them, if you push on the brake to shift out of gear, it kills the engine, and then they can't drive away.
No matter what the season, the Bloomington Police Force is encouraging residents to guard their properties from being the target of theft.
The biggest thing is to protect yourself by making yourself less of a target. Hide your valuables. Preferably don't keep them in your car, but if you do, hide them. Hide them before you get to a location. Sometimes the thieves are sitting in a parking lot and looking for targets, and so if you get out when you're at that location and take your briefcase and put it in the trunk, someone might see that and then break into your vehicle and try to access the trunk. So if you can put those valuables away before you get there, that's going to make you less likely to be a target. And keeping the valuables out of sight. Locking your vehicles is always something we recommend. And don't hide the spare keys in the center console or something like that, because again, when the thieves are rifling through your car looking for your valuables, they might find the keys.
Sergeant Elliott says that the 2010 statistics for auto theft have gone down considerably from years past. This past year, there were 103 auto thefts, down from 135 in 2009. In addition to educating the public, Bloomington Police Force largely credit a grant from the state of Minnesota, allowing extra officers on the streets in problem areas and formulating an extensive bait car program for the decline in auto thefts. If you have any questions about the current city ordinances or would like to find out more tips on how to protect your vehicle, visit the city's website. Well, now it's time for a short break. When we return, we'll be joined by Police Sergeant Chuck Gollop as he fills us in on a county-wide initiative the City of Bloomington will be taking part of. Stay with us.
Lead paint poisoning affects over 1 million children today. If your home was built before 1978, your kids could be at risk. Log on to leadfreekids.org or call 800-424-LEAD.
Welcome back, everyone. We are now joined by Sergeant Chuck Gollop of the Bloomington Police Force to talk a little bit about a new group that Hennepin County is putting together. Why don't you tell us a little bit about the Hennepin County Traffic Enforcement Group?
Okay, thanks. Well, the Traffic Enforcement Group we're just starting up. We're hoping to have our first meeting the first week in March. We're hoping to have the program actually up and running in June. It's sponsored by the Hennepin County Traffic Advisory Commission, and we deal with traffic safety issues throughout the county. It's a consortium of officers that deal with traffic enforcement, and that's the group that's sponsoring the group, but I'm the president of that group, and as such Bloomington's kind of taken the helm at the beginning of this project.
Oh, okay. Well, why now? Why are we creating this?
I would say it's need driven. I've talked before on the roll call show, and I think even on this show before, about the increasing amount of collaborative efforts toward traffic enforcement. So you may see different departments in Bloomington doing traffic enforcement. It might be Corcoran, it might be Rogers, it might be Minneapolis. And if we can flood an area with 10, 12 police cars and couple that with the media attention and putting the reports on our activity out, it really makes a difference in traffic safety in that area.
Absolutely. Well, I guess a lot of people's understanding is that, Bloomington police stay in Bloomington and Minneapolis police stay in Minneapolis. Who stands to benefit from this kind of overlap?
Well, I'd say the citizens in each community that are affected by this. It's mainly to enforce traffic law, and statistics show that enforcement works. More enforcement decreases accidents, increases traffic safety, increases compliance for things like seatbelt, calling for a safe and sober ride, slowing down, but it also has an effect on crime stats in an area. So we can use this in an area that's having a high crime rate, maybe a lot of car prowls, like along the 494 strip. Maybe Minneapolis is having that problem. Maybe Medina, Minnesota is having that problem. And they'll benefit just by the added activity by law enforcement, all the lights, and people know police are there. They're going to go somewhere else.
Right. I know you said that this is something that is just kind of in the very beginning stages. What sort of a timeline are we looking at to see different officers from different areas out on the roads?
It's a great question. I'm hoping for June. That's a lot of summer activities, festivals, the Basilica Block Party, events that could really benefit from this are really going by July. So again, our first meeting is in March, and if all the people that matter in these different departments can be on the same page and we can move forward, it could be as early as April. And frankly, I think we're a little behind the curve. Bloomington is, or Hennepin County rather, is the only county in the metro that doesn't have an effort like this yet. Oh. So, and it's difficult because we have 40-some jurisdictions with control over areas of Hennepin County. Compare that to Anoka, Dakota, where they have maybe 12 agencies. So it's a little harder to get everyone to come to the table and play well, but I think it's going to be an important thing and a good thing.
Now, one question that people might be asking is taking an officer from their city and bringing it into another city would maybe lessen the patrol that they're seeing. Talk a little bit about that.
It's a great question. It's something I had to anticipate in presenting this to the chiefs of police, that we're going to supply their manpower. The term I like to use is that it's a low-cost force multiplier. It's cool cop talk for saying that you're getting a lot of bang for your buck. We're asking each agency participating, and thus far we have about 10 or 12, to give 8 hours of time a month toward this group. And so those officers, once a month, will be working in another city. In trade, for that 8 hours, once a year, that agency will get 8 hours of 12 or so cops from other jurisdictions working an event in their community. So again, like I said, it's a force multiplier. You see 12 police cars driving around an area, you know something's up. There's a pretty good chance you're going to get stopped or arrested, and it really makes a big difference on traffic safety. So it's taking a little bit, 8 hours from each department. and you're getting a lot back for that investment. So really, most departments won't notice a difference for the 8 hours a month, and they'll really see a difference when everyone's in their city.
Absolutely. Now, kind of what I think that we're touching on a lot here is that police presence is so important. Talk a little bit about what that does to crime statistics even.
Well, it's interesting that crime is actually down pretty much nationwide, and any stat keeper will tell you that, which is a good thing. But one way to keep those stats down, and there's a direct correlation to officer presence and traffic enforcement in reducing crime and accident rates. There's no escaping that if there are more police cars in an area, that's an intersection where we see a reduction in crashes. And it's the same thing for crime. People are less likely to want to go do a burglary in the middle of the night if they see police cars stopping cars left and right. And then also the correlation between significant arrests that have been made across the country, not just Bloomington, but all over the country, based on routine traffic stops. Timothy McVeigh was stopped on a traffic stop. A known serial killer was stopped on a traffic stop, and these are great ways to catch criminals. So there are a number of reasons why this works.
Absolutely. Why is this? Hennepin County is one of the bigger in Minnesota. Why is this important that we have this in Hennepin County, this overlap of officers?
Another great question. I think we're in a position to lead the charge, and as I hinted before, I think we're a little behind, and we're the most visible county, we're the most populous county, and this is an area where we can really make a difference on traffic safety, certainly within the communities, within the county, but more important, within the state. I've talked on other shows about our involvement in state grants, doing similar things with different agencies from different jurisdictions flooding an area. But those are all driven by the state of Minnesota, targeting what the state feels we need to target. This is an extension of that, and we can work more local problems and more local streets and maybe some of the local festivals from Crystal Frolic Days to Summer Fete to the Basilica Block Party. Every community has a need for something like this, and it's something the state may not want to target.
Absolutely.
So.
Okay. Well, obviously there was a ultimate goal in mind when this got into works, I guess. What is the ultimate goal of the Hennepin County Traffic Enforcement Group?
Well, it's going to be labor intensive because I'm going to need to track a lot of stats to start. So we should be able to see a big difference in the areas we're working in accident rates, crimes going down, and I'm hoping we can track that. Again, we're very much in the beginning stages of this, but I think as the year progresses, we should be able to show a pretty measurable difference in our statistics in those two areas once the group has worked those areas.
Okay. Anything that the public can do to either assist or feedback or anything like that?
I would say get the word out. And this is one of those rare occasions where we in law enforcement say, we want people to know we're out there. We're going to be on the news. We're going to be on the media. I'll come to you. We'll put it on the roll call show, the Sun Current. We want people to know there's going to be a big detail. You're going to see a lot of police officers. Get the word out. This is a time maybe where you want to wear your seatbelt. This is a time where you want to arrange for that sober driver. This is a road you want to stay off if you're doing anything wrong. And I'm hoping that really makes a difference.
Great. Alrighty. Well, we'd like to thank Sergeant Chuck Gollop for being here today to tell us a little bit about the Hennepin County Traffic Enforcement Group. We have a short break to take right now, so stay with us.
I knew it wasn't going to be easy. Some things take a while to come back.
3, 2, champions!
But I've got some good buddies. I guess they're helping me figure it out. Being used to doing something with a cigarette makes it hard to do it without one. But if I can relearn to hang out with my friends without cigarettes, then I can relearn anything without cigarettes.
Relearn life without cigarettes. Free at becomeanx.org. A new way to think about quitting.
Welcome back, everyone. Now it's time for our City Faces segment. Here we'll take you through a day in the shoes of one of the city's employees. This week, we'll introduce you to Bloomington civil engineer Steve Segar.
As a civil engineer, Steve Segar has a variety of different responsibilities that benefit the Bloomington community.
My main duties are design and construction of city improvement projects, mostly in stormwater related, but we also review design development plans, do grading and erosion control inspections, and work with other municipalities and agencies on water quality improvements.
As a city employee, Steve is also able to experience a great sense of community.
I enjoy the variety of work and meeting a lot of different people in different cities and within our city. And working in engineering allows us to build quality infrastructure and benefit the community by improving water quality and building better roads.
One recent project Steve has worked on includes an innovative way to reduce the harmful effects of stormwater runoff.
Well, right now we're standing at the Public Works building, and our east employee parking lot we reconstructed using pervious concrete. And the pervious concrete was a demonstration of how we can infiltrate stormwater versus having it just run off into the creeks and streams of Bloomington. And this reduces pollution by taking phosphorus and nutrients out of the stormwater runoff and infiltrating those in the ground. And there's also metals and other particulates that come off of cars that now are going to be infiltrated and actually treated through bacterial activity within the soils.
Let's take a few moments to learn a little more about Steve.
I live in St. Paul, but I grew up in Bloomington at 95th and Penn, and I went to high school at Lincoln Senior High.
Outside of work, you may find Steve not too far from a racetrack.
I'm a stock car racing fan, and I've gone to a few different races, Michigan and Kansas City, and I enjoy watching that on the weekends.
Tune in to Bloomington Today, where we'll continue to bring you through the average day in the life of a city worker. Well, one Bloomington elementary school is doing what it can to put a stop to an epidemic 2,200 miles away. Take a look.
A 50-cent bar of soap can change anything, mostly down there in Haiti.
They need soap pretty much to survive down there.
A lot of people are dying because they get less, $1.25 a day or less, and they use that to buy food. That's their first priority, and they don't think about buying soap.
We can make a big difference for a lot of people. Like, we can just change the world.
The 4th and 5th grade class at Bloomington's Westwood Elementary has teamed up with Edina Public Schools to collect soap to help fight disease-ridden areas of Haiti, and they need your help.
The Soap for Hope is for the children and the people of Haiti are dying just daily. Thousands of people dying from lack of sanitation, and they're getting cholera and they're dying, and all because they can't wash their hands. They have no soap.
The kids were shown videos of the devastation in Haiti after last year's earthquake and were eager to take action by initiating Soap for Hope as a school service project. Ultimately, Principal Hartwigson hopes to collect 5,000 pounds of soap, as well as instill a lasting message in her students.
For 50 cents, you can buy a bar of soap. And I think about all the things that we just blow money on, or we think we have to have. We just can't live without this new video game, or we can't live without this object that we get at the store. When, in fact, for 50 cents for a bar of soap, you can save many, many lives. So my goal is that the children learn that the value of what really counts with money is much greater than what we just do for ourselves.
All sizes of new bar soap is accepted, including hotel and bath sizes. The drive ends Monday, February 28th. The Bloomington drop-off site is at Westwood Elementary School, located at 3701 West 108th Street. For more information, call Westwood at 952-806-7200. The Bloomington Advisory Board of Health is seeking nominations for its 2011 Health Promotion Award. This recognizes organizations, businesses, or individuals that have made a significant impact on the health and wellness of Bloomington residents. Public Health Administrator Karen Zalesnik says the individual or organization nominated should be someone or something that has provided assistance to Bloomington in improving the health of its residents, and they want to honor them for that.
Well, the ultimate goal really is to provide recognition for a person or an organization who's really has done significant work towards improving the health of residents. And I just don't think people get recognized enough. So, you know, it's a great award. People get a little recognition from their friends and family and from the city council. It's presented at a city council meeting, so people are publicly recognized for their efforts. It's usually really a fun event.
Nominees should either live, work, or have their organization based out of Bloomington. There are a few ways to make a nomination. You can go to the city's website at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us and keyword search nomination form. Otherwise, you can give Bloomington Public Health a call at 952-563-8900 and have a form sent to you. Bloomington Today is now available for viewing on the city's YouTube channel, or for more information on city projects, parks, road construction, and events, visit the city's website. That and so much more is online right now at www.ci.bloomington.mn.us. We'll do you even one better. Sign up for eSubscribe to have updates sent to your email or cell phone. This is Bloomington Today, a presentation of the City of Bloomington's Communications Division. I'm Kaylin Cockriel.